Howdy folks, I'm lethargic, viviparous lizard, lazily licking lemon lime lozenges.
I'm Amber.
And here are more lozenges for us to lick, because they're actually just Reddit stories. The sweetly, sickeningly sweet Reddit stories, which none of them are. Let's get started. Our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Giving My Girlfriend Advice on Her Dressing Style? I'm a 36-year-old male, and I decided to give my girlfriend, a 22-year-old female, some advice about her dressing style. I was certainly not telling her how to dress herself, and it was just advice, and I'm totally fine if she doesn't follow through. However, she got upset at me simply giving her the advice. She recently graduated and started a new job as an electrical engineer. While I'm not an engineer by education, I am a self-taught software engineer, and I have been working in this sort of industry for quite a while now, and I have a lot of experience. My girlfriend likes to dress very girly and feminine. Nothing overly inappropriate besides some strappy tops that she wears sometimes that could be a little risky. But she always wears skirts and open-toe, high-heeled sandals or heeled boots that don't look very business professional, and does her makeup in a teenager sort of style. In this industry, you won't get dress coded for that. She won't get much respect though, and will be seen as incompetent, etc., even if she isn't, because most people we meet who are like that are in non-technical roles and often are not the brightest, so the engineers have to work around them to make things work. Besides, it can also seem vain since skirts and heels are just so impractical and there isn't any logical reason to wear them. I'm not saying that she should wear men's clothes, but wearing pants instead of dresses and skirts all the time and doing her makeup more business professional, less artisanal jewelry, etc. would help a lot and make her seem more serious. I told her this as advice and she got upset at me for telling her how to dress, even though I wasn't doing that and I was just giving her advice. She was herself complaining about two coworkers who didn't seem to give her respect and, in her words, acted patronizing. Am I the jerk for simply giving advice? All right, folks, what do you think?
Absolutely 100% the jerk here, OP. Not only was this unsolicited advice, but you're placing the blame in the wrong place. You know, your girlfriend should be able to dress femininely in her work environment. And as someone who has worked in STEM fields and has, kind of had a style transformation partway through, where I went from very kind of like jeans and tank tops to, more girly and feminine, I can tell you, most people, it makes no difference to. If they are a good person, then they're not going to care. The people who do not respect her in skirts will not respect her in pants.
Well, that's just it too. I think that brings up a really good point. And it also kind of sets this whole idea that plainer fashion type of things, like more masculine fashion, is the benchmark to judge everyone's competence by.
And that's not okay.
Yeah, and that certainly isn't okay. And I think that, again, you should be, if the coworkers are judging her based off her clothes, then they're bad coworkers, plain and simple. You should judge people by the quality and quantity of their work, not by arbitrary measures like their clothing choices.
Right.
Now, there are certain jobs where certain clothing is inappropriate, but that's usually because of safety concerns or contamination concerns or anything like that.
Yeah, well, the lab I worked in for my doctorate, we had, worked with, nuclear radiation, so we'd have to wear radiation badges in there. It was very low level, like environmental radiation, but you still want to be careful. And we did have to wear closed-toed shoes because there were cinder blocks in there that people could drop on their feet. So there are, sometimes some dress code elements that are perfectly fine and make perfect sense. But it sounds like, again, here there's no dress code. And there's a lot of engineers and other people in STEM fields who just wear, old t-shirts all the time. And like, if you can give respect, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, like, you should give respect to people regardless of their clothes, but if you can see someone wearing a t-shirt that is like all worn out and full of holes and still give them the time of day, why would you not do the same thing to someone in a skirt and heels?
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to share my lottery winnings with my fiance after he mocked my quote-unquote useless hobby? And Amber wants to read this one.
I'm a 32-year-old female and my fiance is a 35-year-old male, and he and I have been together for 7 years and are planning our wedding for next year. We generally have a good relationship, but we have very different interests. My main hobby is collecting and restoring vintage books. It's something I'm really passionate about, and I've spent years building my collection and learning the craft of restoration. My fiance, however, has dismissed it as a dusty old waste of money and constantly teases me about it, saying I should focus on more productive things. Recently, I bought a lottery ticket on a whim and ended up winning a significant amount, enough to pay off our mortgage and have a comfortable cushion. I was ecstatic. My first thought was how this would alleviate so much financial stress for both of us. When I told my fiance, his initial reaction was pure joy as expected. However, the conversation took a turn when he asked what I planned to do with the winnings. I mentioned wanting to finally get some professional archival materials and maybe even take a few advanced restoration workshops, things I've put off due to cost. He scoffed and said, "Seriously? You're still going to waste money on those stupid books? I thought this would mean we could finally get a new car and maybe start that investment portfolio you always talk about." I was hurt by his immediate dismissal of something that brings me so much joy, especially after winning such a life-changing sum. I pointed out that my useless hobby is still part of my life and these winnings were mine. He countered by saying that since we're engaged in planning a future together, the money should be considered ours and used for more practical things that benefit us both. He's now upset with me because I've decided to put a significant portion of the winnings in a separate account that I will primarily use for my hobby and some personal investments I want to make independently. I will still contribute to our joint finances and ensure our mortgage is paid off, but I'm hesitant to fully merge the winnings after his comment. He feels like I'm being selfish and not treating us as a team. Our friends are divided. Some say that since we are about to be married, it's petty of me to keep a large portion separate, especially since he's willing to use some of it for our shared goals. Others agree that his dismissive attitude towards my passion justifies my decision to keep a portion separate for my own use. I don't know how to feel about this, so I made a Reddit account to ask other people's opinions. Am I the jerk for not wanting to share all my lottery winnings with my fiance after he consistently mocked my hobby?
All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk, but I would hold off on marrying this man if he is so adamantly against your hobbies. Like, the thing about hobbies is they don't have to be productive. Like, they're called hobbies for a reason. And so his insistence that you only ever be doing productive things is very strange to me. But it's actually a useful skill to be able to restore vintage books. You know, it's not unproductive at all. It can be a very handy and important skill. And so I don't think OP's in the wrong for wanting to use money to support the hobby and get the advanced classes and materials and everything. But I also don't know if marrying someone who mocks your hobbies and, calls them stupid is, the person you want to share your life with.
I have a lot of thoughts on this one, and the primary is I would say that it would be in their best interest to reevaluate this relationship and see if there are other places where he denigrates OP and the things that they like to do with their time. Now, what kind of hobbies does this guy have, right?
Yeah.
Is he always using his time productively? Does he play video games? Does he play computer games? Those sports, any hobby you look at, you could make the same kind of argument about, pretty much. Like, oh, this is a waste of time, blah, 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 a waste of money. Like looking at sports, for instance, right? What's the point? You're sitting and watching millionaires play against each other type of thing, wearing tights. If you put it down to those kinds of levels, then it kind of all seems a little foolish, right? It's not. If people are really passionate about sports, enjoy your sports, right?
Right.
If someone's really passionate about video games, enjoy your video games. All within reason, of course. Something can take over your life, and you can take it too far, but it doesn't sound like that's the case with OP here. It sounds like they have a very reasonable hobby that they like to do. And the fact that he's sitting here treating OP like they are a bad person for enjoying something,
Right.
gives me a lot of pause.
And like every cent should only be used for productive things.
Mm-hmm.
And productive in quotes, because what is productive is subjective.
Yeah.
Because your own well-being and mental health matter too. And if something is bringing you joy, that is a good thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I agree completely that OP really needs to reevaluate this relationship as a whole. And is this guy bringing her down in other areas? Is he making unfair demands of her money?
Yeah.
Because like, how are the finances being split? Are you contributing to this mortgage like jointly? It sounds like OP's going to pay off the whole thing no matter what.
Yeah.
So, What is he contributing? How is he supporting you? How is he making you feel valued?
Well, and I mean, I think like it's a good idea to build an investment portfolio if
Mm-hmm.
they have the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that they won't have a mortgage payment every month, they have the ability to put more money aside into an investment portfolio, right? They
Mm-hmm.
could take that money that they would have spent to pay off the house and put it somewhere like that. And I think, like, yeah, it's a good idea, but does it have to happen all at once with all of OP's, winnings?
Right, and the answer is it doesn't. It just seems like he's very single-minded, and he may just be one of those people who just like wants to accumulate wealth as fast as possible. Or he could be a little bit greedy. I'm not sure what his deal is.
Yeah. But if OP's already kind of feeling, concerned about his comments here,
Hmm.
it may be time to like talk or think things over with the friends who aren't divided, right? And then my question about those is it the friends who are closer to him,
Right.
or is it universally your close friends and his close friends? I would say if it's people who are very, very close to OP and don't really share close friendships with the fiance, then maybe they should, take that into consideration in general, but in this particular case, probably not. I mean, I think that wouldn't really be a sign of a good friend in this particular case.
Right. But like I don't think you have to worry too much about the people who are closer to him. They're likely to side with him just because he's their friend.
Yeah, but let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, "Is it worth possibly putting honey on a 29-year-old female's bathroom towel so my husband, a 30-year-old male, learns to get his own and to stop using mine? My husband is a 30-year-old male and I'm a 29-year-old female, and we have been married for 8 years. He has little quirks that drive me nuts, but I love him dearly. However, one of these quirks is starting to really irritate me. He always uses my towel that I've hung up to dry and use for my next shower. Not only does he use it, but after he's done, he lays it flat on the floor so he doesn't quote unquote slip and doesn't hang it back up. After numerous times getting out of the shower only to find out that there was no towel on the rack, I finally and kindly asked him to please stop using my towel. He got super defensive. I told him that I was getting tired of having to trot through the carpet into the hallway naked and cold to grab a towel after my shower. He told me that I was being unreasonable and that the answer to my concern is for me to quote unquote check if my towel is there before I shower. That totally made me mad. I thought that he would see a fair solution to be the one where he would check for his own towel and go get one for himself, but instead he just thinks that I'm nagging and getting upset over nothing. It honestly seems like a childish thing to me, and thanks to my overdeveloped sense of justice, I'm debating resorting to the level of his immaturity to teach him a lesson. So my solution is to prank my husband. He hates being sticky, so I planned on putting honey inside of my towel and hanging it up to hide the stickiness from him. When he goes to dry himself off, he would instantly get sticky. However, this could obviously backfire and make me look like I'm overreacting. So what do we think? Fight fire with fire, or just start getting a new towel after every shower? I don't think that he is going to stop using mine. All right, folks, what do you think?
I think OP, maybe marriage counseling is in order here if you want to continue this relationship. I mean, I can think of all kinds of solutions, like why isn't he bringing his own towel? I assume that the racks in the bathroom could hold 2 towels. But it sounds like he can't be bothered to get his own and is just happy to use OP's. So OP could always just take hers out of the bathroom after the shower, potentially. But I think the deeper issue here is he doesn't care if OP has to get a towel and shuffle through the house naked and cold, dripping on the carpet, because he just wants what's convenient for him.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think you need to talk this out with a counselor who is going to push him on why he has so little care for your well-being.
Yeah. 2 words: itching powder. No, please don't do that. I think if you're resorting to this level of things that you're doing to your husband in order to get them to see your point of view, then you are doing a majority of the emotional labor in your relationship.
Yeah.
I think that he should be empathetic towards you. His solution is just as easy as him going and picking out a towel for himself and making sure that he has a towel before showering. Maybe the best solution here, OP, is to not have a towel hanging up in the bathroom at all so that he has to start trudging through the cold in order to go and get himself a towel.
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking. And I mean, when I, lived at home at my parents' house, there were 5 of us sharing a bathroom. So we would just, like, sometimes there'd be extra towels under the, sink we could use, but we'd be responsible for making sure we had a towel. And so, like, there could be, like, if you have extra towels, you could have, like, a towel stash under the sink. But there's a fundamental issue here with the way he's treating you, his lack of regard for your well-being. Because as much as he's like, well, you should check if there's a towel, I mean, he could just bring in his own towel.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying here. So it feels like he is putting all the weight on OP here to solve the problem that he is creating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, certainly I wouldn't resort to honey or itching powder. But I would say that maybe taking away the towel in the first place and getting him to go ahead and have to start doing the whole walking through the house cold and stuff like that. Or if you hear him taking a shower, run into the bathroom and grab the towel out real quick for yourself. Be like, nope, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, but, like, I also think there needs to be some discussion around this.
Therapy, like you're saying.
Yeah. If you want to continue the relationship, like, it is also worth it examining, is this the one place where he is mistreating you, or are there other places where he is fundamentally disregarding you?
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a very funny joke.
What might you call a short-lived March romance?
Oh, you would probably call a short-lived March romance, probably the Caesar relationship.
A spring fling.
Oh, spring fling.
And today is the spring equinox.
Yes. We just recently passed the Ides of March, and so that's what I had on my mind.
Yeah, I knew where you were going with that.
And I have Mega Mint. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday Junior, folks.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much for Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it a hodgepodge.
Don't victim blame your partner. Don't bash your partner's hobbies, and don't steal your partner's towel.
Don't steal your partner's towel. Yes. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.